Okay, before we start this part, quite a few of you guys tell me to make Deku or give him a Super Saiyan form, like make him a Super Saiyan or a Saiyan in general. I'm talking about abandoned Deku if you guys didn't know. Or you're not the one who asked me to make him a Super Saiyan. So the thing is, in part 1 I told you that he's just human. So no Super Saiyan 1, 2 or 3. So please stop with Deku going Super Saiyan. So all of this lead us to this what if. Like you guys already know, a week ago I did make a poll asking you guys if you want a Deku being adopted by Mirko. And 93% of you guys tell me yes. But I wasn't sure about making him a Saiyan or something else. But because of the comments I just mentioned, I decide why not. So this what if is technically what if Deku was a Saiyan or have a quirk that resemble a Saiyan. In a way it's almost like the one about Ultra Instinct. It's Ultra Instinct but in a quirk. So this what if will be just it. Deku will have a quirk that make him a Saiyan. And I'm excited to make this one. And don't worry, I did learn my mistake from My Hero Academia after Super. I won't give Deku forms like they are going out of stock. So hope you guys enjoy this part and let's begin the what if. Hello there guys, it's Bublikawan here, back in another video, and today I'm going to do a new series and it's what if Deku was adopted by Mirko. Hope you guys enjoy it. So our story begins when Deku was around 5 years old. And like we know in My Hero Academia, it's time to see if we have a quirk. And because this is a big thing in My Hero Academia world, someone that wasn't there in the original is there with Deku, his dad. And that shocked both Deku and his mom. Of course Deku is happy to see his dad, well both of them are. Then Izuku's mom asked him what he's doing here. He tell her he took the week off, plus today Izuku will see if we have a quirk, and I will never miss it. So they drive to see the doctor. And like the anime, he tell them that he's quirkless. So like the anime, Deku was frozen in his place, in shock. His parents try their best to comfort him, but they know that this actually hit him hard. Especially his mom. She know how much he want to be a hero. So they drive back home, and after he watch a video of All Might saving people, he burst out crying. And the only thing that his parents can do is hug him. Then he asked them if he can be a hero. His mom was going to say something, but his dad beat her to it and tell him you can be whatever you want. You don't need a flashy quirk to become a hero. Then Hisashi grabbed the PC and started showing him random heroes that don't have, I wouldn't say good quirk, but is not suitable for combat. For example, Mandalay. I know that she's a rescue hero, not a fighting hero, but he's trying to cheer his son up. And that made Deku stop crying, but he still said, you know about being quirkless and all. Then suddenly they got a phone call from the hospital they just went to. They pick up and they tell them that there is some misinformation in his checkup. They tell him he's not quirkless, he's an unknown. I just made this up, so deal with it. Then they explain that an unknown is someone that can manifest a quirk, but they don't know when or how. Plus, in most cases, the quirk will be weak. I thought that you want to know. Izuku's mom thank her for the information, and she tells Deku and Hisashi. Deku cheer up thinking they still have a chance. But sadly for him, people can't seem to wait. Immediately after they hear the news, Deku got the same treatment that he have in the anime. So after a couple of days, he started feeling defeated again, that he's just worthless and useless. But once again, his dad step in and tell him, listen Izuku, it doesn't matter if you have a quirk or not. You can be whatever you want. If they say that you are weak, train and become stronger. And show them what you're made of. And this somehow cheered Deku up. So for the remainder of the week, Deku trained with his dad. Well, he's just 5 years old, so they will not do a lot. But when it's time for Hisashi to go back to his work, meaning leaving Japan, he tells Izuku to keep training. And whatever he needs, he will provide it for him. Deku nod, and this continued for 5 years. During these 5 years, Hisashi come back to visit whenever his work let him to. And like Deku promised him, he keep up with his training. And sadly his quirk did not manifest. Whatever he tried, it didn't work. So he starts slowly losing hope about him getting a quirk. But he's still determined about being a hero. Sure, he's still getting bullied by Bakugo at school. But this Deku is different from the original. This Deku fights back. Sure, he always loses. Because like we see in the flashback, most of the fights are 3 against 1. But that doesn't mean he will not put up a fight. Bakugo and his lackeys will always leave the fight with bruises. So considering everything, this Deku grew up with different mentality. I wouldn't say that his personality changed 180 degrees. I would say that he's a bit more hard-headed than original. And he's not a pushover. And because no one helped him when he was bullied, he learned to only rely on himself. Of course, his dad and mom are helping him emotionally. Well, his dad is gone most of the time. But that doesn't mean that he don't love him. He's doing his best and Deku knows that. So what I'm trying to say is this Deku is almost like a mix between Bakugo and Deku from the original anime. So when Deku is 10 years old, on his birthday, his dad drops in again. So they go to an amusement park to celebrate. And they spend the whole day there. So when they drive back home, it's almost night time. They were driving back happy that they spent a good day. Good days are a bit scarce when you are quirkless in this society. Then suddenly they get hit by something that make the car flip a few times, then lands upside down. Luckily they were wearing their seat belts, so no one gets seriously hurt. So they slowly start getting out of the car. Then they hear a voice. Sorry about that. I did not see you there. Hisashi turned around to see a man with blonde hair and he's quite muscular. It's muscular, by the way. Then Muscular tell them, "Good, you're still alive. Let's play for a bit, shall we? It's been a while since I was out from the leash." Hisashi tell Deku and his mom to start running and call for help. And Hisashi start using his quirk to give them some time. He knew that he cannot win. He's not a fighter, so he doesn't have a lot of control over his quirk. And because of lack of use, it's a bit weak. So needless to say, he's no match to Muscular. And after one good punch that sent him flying toward the car, and he collided with it with such force that he bent it. So Deku's dad is mortally wounded. And after seeing this horrible sight, Deku and his mom frozen in place, phone in hand, still calling for help. And the second Muscular saw them, Izuku's mom grabbed Deku, started running, calling for help. So on the other end of the phone, they heard her, but sadly it still will take a couple of minutes for them to arrive. And when Muscular saw them running, he used his quirk to get in front of them. Leaving already? Let's have a little bit more fun. Then he started laughing maniacally. Deku, in the heat of the moment, jumps from his mom's hand. Then he tells her to start running, and he charged at Muscular. Muscular smiled to see Deku charging at him, but when Deku throws a punch, it did nothing to Muscular. Muscular tells him, "That punch was weak. Too weak. It's almost like a normal punch." Wait a second, don't tell me. You're quirkless, right? This is precious. What do you think you're going to do against me? Deku is terrified, so he took a step back. Then Muscular tell him, "Since you show me your power, let me show you mine." Then Muscular delivered a fierce punch to Deku that sent him flying to a nearby wall. And the wall is not that far from the car crash. His mom rushed at Deku. He's alive but barely, and he's not moving. She tell him to stay away from her kid. Muscular grin and tell her, "Make me." Then he slowly starts walking toward her. So she gets up and starts using her quirk on him. But like we saw in the anime, it's weak. So the only thing that she was able to do is just to slow him down. Although just a tiny bit. And when he come close to her, let's say she had the same fate as Deku. A powerful punch that sent her flying toward the wall. But Muscular knew that both of them are still alive. So he started walking toward them to end the fight. And Hisashi saw that. And as a last ditch effort, he started insulting Muscular and taunting him to come closer. Muscular got a bit enraged and started walking toward him. And when he's a foot away from him, Muscular starts laughing and tell him, "So, what are you going to do?" Hisaki smiled and tell him, "I will protect my family." Then Hisashi turned to the right, Muscular did the same and saw the fuel cap is open. And before he can do anything, Hisashi fired a small fireball toward the cap, and that was more than enough to ignite the fuel and make the car explode. So this explosion was more than enough to take Hisashi's life. Well, he was already at death's door, but his last ditch effort actually worked somewhat. That explosion was able to severely injure Muscular, and that forced him to run after he heard the sirens coming toward him. And after a few moments, someone dropped down and it's Mirko, and she immediately saw Deku and his mom on the ground. She rushed at them, they are alive but barely. But Izuku's mom is mortally wounded. She grabbed Mirko by her shoulder and tell her in her dying breath, "Please, save him. Don't leave him alone." And she passed away. Mirko felt a mix between rage and sadness, so she yelled at paramedic to quickly care for Deku. He's not looking so hot. So Deku was quickly taken to the nearest hospital, and he stayed unconscious for a week straight. During this week they were able to get the bodies of Deku's parents, but sadly every paper they had on them got incinerated in the fire. So it will take a bit more time for them to find who's Deku, and by extension his parents. Plus, something odd is happening. Mirko is dropping to see Deku almost every day. His mom's last words are haunting her. And if you guys are wondering, she's around 21. So at most she's been a hero for 3 years. So she's still a bit of a novice. I am not saying she's not skilled. So don't go crazy on me in the comments. And one last thing happened in this week. While the doctors are examining Deku's body, they saw something. A tail. So like you guys already know or didn't know, some quirks need a trigger. So nearly dying to Muscular was more than enough to awaken his quirk. That's why he survived. Although barely. So let's continue our story, shall we? So one day Mirko is going to see Deku like always. Then she heard a ruckus. And strangely enough, it's coming from the direction of Deku's room. So she rushed there only to see Deku awake and he's being held down by 2 security guards. And actually they are having problems. One of them comments, "This kid is strong." The other one agreed with him. Then the doctor speak up and tell Deku to calm down, let us help you. You can't move in your state, you're too weak. Deku got enraged and tell him, I am not weak and I don't need anyone's help. Then he lifted the 2 guards each with one hand, then he threw them away from him. Everyone is shocked. Deku is huffing and puffing and gasping for air. He's not fully healed and he just woke up from a coma. So he's not thinking straight and the doctors know that. So Deku started heading to the door. The doctors thought of stopping him, but they know if they come close to him, they will end up in bad shape. So Deku starts walking slowly toward the door, but before he can reach it, Mirko stopped him. Where do you think you are going? She asked him with a stern voice. I am getting out of here, Deku replied. In this state that you're in, you will not go far. Let them help you. Deku growled and gave Mirko a ferocious look and tell her, I don't need anyone's help. I am not weak. And that somewhat shocked her. This kid has the same mentality as her, so she will know that he will be a hardhead, just like her. So she smirked and tell him, if you want to leave, you have to go through me. Deku smirked and tell her, alright, remember you asked for it. Then Deku throws a punch. Mirko was able to block it, then she realized that Deku delivered quite a punch. Sure, it's not superhuman level, but a kid shouldn't be this strong. So after blocking a couple of his attack, she tell him, you're strong, not going to lie. But then she used her own force to tackle him to the ground. I'm stronger. Deku tried to shake her off and get up, but she's just too strong. Then Mirko tell him, by the way, I'm pro hero Mirko, so I'm not a pushover. Deku simply replied by trying to shaking her off. Then she asked him, what's your name? Deku tell her, my name, why does it matter? She tell him, you're strong kid, so I want to know your name. Deku tell her, fine, my name is... She tell him, yeah? Deku stopped shaking her off and tell her, I don't know my name. And that shocked everyone. Then she tell him in a concerned and soft tone, kid, listen to me, I know how you feel. But this time, please, just let them help you. Let us help you. Deku nodded, still shocked. Then Mirko released him. Then she helped him get back on his bed. Immediately the doctor started doing some exams on Deku, and they soon realized that Deku have a concussion, and because of it he lost his memories. He still remember how to write the date and time, but his past is completely gone, and they don't know when or if his memories will return. Everyone felt bad for him, especially Mirko. She was there. She saw how much his parents cared for him just by the voice of his mom, and that losing that part of himself, maybe for good, is just too much for a kid. So what will we do? Mirko asked. They tell her since they don't know anything about him, he will stay here for a few days. We did get notified yesterday that they were able to find the license plate of the car, so they told us to wait. Everyone kept silence for a second, then Mirko told them, if he have another outburst or something come out about him, inform me immediately. Plus, I will cover every expenses that he have. They ask her, are you sure? She nods. So she signed some paperwork and he's technically on her care. But I'm going to stop it right here. So what do you think of it, guys? Will Deku remember his past? How will he move forwards? What will happen next? Leave your thoughts and comments down below, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, it helped me a lot, and if you're new, subscribe, there is more videos like this coming, and like always guys, peace.